Talk to me, tell me how you feel. What is on in your head? In your beautiful head. In your beautiful head. In your beautiful head. In your beautiful.
I'm Eric Houston, and welcome to Talk Show, a brand new show here at North Metro TV. We'll get to our guests in just a minute, but like with every episode of Talk Show, we're taping this show a couple of weeks before it airs, which means we can't do the kind of topical humor you're used to from your regular late-night talk show hosts. But what we can do is make predictions. That's right here on this stage, I'm going to make a prediction about a future event, and you living out there in the future will be able to tell if it has come true. So for my prediction tonight, they've just elected a new pope, Pope Francis, and my prediction is that very soon Catholics around the world and the people at the Vatican are going to get tired of new Pope and crave the crisp, refreshing taste of Pope Classic. Our guests tonight are the host and producer of Off Constantly, a program that they themselves describe as ADD theater, a pop culture extravaganza, and even the American Downton Abbey, Jason Anderson and Dave Bauer. Guys, how are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Doing well.
Good. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Rough trip over?
That was, the flight was a little long.
Yeah.
Had some issues with the landing, but...
Sure. You couldn't stick it?
They had a problem sticking it, but...
Sure.
I was a little concerned. You promised first class, and they had me in business class.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well,
not that we're complaining.
Yeah.
You know, we're just
well,
happy.
hey, somebody's getting fired.
We're just happy to get out with the weekend pass.
Sure.
So.
It was kind of a strange thing, too, because we live about 10 minutes away by car.
Right. But, you know, as with all guests of the show, I like to route you through Seattle,
Yes.
bring you back here.
Really, it makes sense. So.
It does. It does. They have, I don't know if you've been to the Seattle airport. I was there recently. They have the Bigfoot restaurant. It is a Bigfoot-themed restaurant in one of the terminals.
My uncle owns that, actually. So.
You are a liar.
I am completely lying.
Yes. So seriously, guys, it's obviously not the American Downton Abbey.
There are English accents in it.
Occasionally every accent's in it, actually. So.
What is Off Constantly?
Dave?
It's basically 3 hosts strive in vain to stay on topic for a talk show.
We usually have 3 topics that we talk about on every week, and we try and keep it to 5 minutes to each topic and fail miserably every week.
Mm-hmm. And like, what kind of topics are we talking about?
Oh, anything from energy drinks to shovels, and then Dave every week has a 1 minute soil minute that he talks about. Actually, it's our educational piece to our show.
Mm-hmm. And you work for a soil organization.
I'm a soil scientist for MnDOT.
Okay. So what is the Soil Minute?
It's 1 minute where I talk about one particular portion of soil. Like last time it was compost amendments to lawns.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about a soil probe.
Yeah. You left it here.
Yes, I left it here. Created a lot of angst at work because it wasn't my soil probe.
Is any soil probe truly ever somebody's soil probe?
Well, Dave's is.
Fair enough. Why aren't you on the show more often, Dave?
Because I'm in the booth. I'm directing. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And the public has spoken. They want to see me for exactly 1 minute.
But no further ambitions of fame?
I like being behind the scenes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, I'm going to pull back the curtain.
Oh.
We get emails on the show,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are written by me.
You know, that was a question on card 4.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Don't be sorry.
we can come back to it.
No. I was curious. It is hard. I know very well it is hard to get people to write in or call into your shows, and you guys seem like you have new emails every week.
From across the country.
So I was
Actually,
wondering.
World.
Yeah. Where's the furthest away fake email?
I think New Zealand. We had one from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
That was a good question,
Yeah.
too.
We have a frequent emailer from California.
Yeah.
It's a roller girl whose roller skates have fused to her feet.
Yes.
So she actually has questions too. Very
She's-
intelligent girl.
Yeah.
She's on Venice Beach. She's part of that freak show.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
But but you are joined on each show by two co-hosts, so you kind of don't need Dave.
Well, that's not true. Dave does everything behind the scenes.
You don't need him on camera.
That's true.
Right, yeah.
Well, without the soil minute, though,
I'm
afraid he's the glue that really holds the show
It's
together.
the cornerstone.
Exactly.
You pull the soil minute, the whole thing falls apart.
Exactly. So, in a sense, we really do need Dave. So
It is like the Andes Mint of your show.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Or the black coffee cup full of water.
there you go. So tell me about the co-hosts. You have Sam, and you have
Jason Wall. Jay and I have known each other for, I think, since third grade. So we grew up, and he took some improv classes, and we worked on just going off each other as far as comedy and what we thought was funny. And people started listening, and we'd be at a party, and we'd just start chatting, and the stuff we'd come up with, and we'd get so off subject that we thought this would make a really good TV show. Actually, we never thought that, but I took your class, and
quite some time ago.
it was a while ago, yeah, a couple years ago, and started talking with Dave and got Dave involved, and Dave introduced us to Samantha Samurai, who we went out for, like all business meetings, have a beer at Bricks, I think it was,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And it was last fall sometime. Started throwing around ideas. We all wanted to do a show, but we didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So we thought that's a perfect formula for making a show. Just show up and have no idea what you're doing, no idea what you're going to talk about, and see what happens.
Works for
So-
the View.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're far more structured than we are.
I don't know about that.
That's true. That's true.
So, were there any shows that inspired you guys? Any, whether directly or indirectly?
Ferguson, late night. That helped.
Huge Craig Ferguson
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Any of the late night talk shows.
And probably about 65% of the shows on Channel 14.
If not 73.
Yeah.
I think actually when we did the litmus test, it was
Right.
73%. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a highly influential station in the North Anoka County cable subscribing area.
I'm telling you, all you
Yeah.
got to do is take one of your courses or make a TV show, and you start watching that channel all the time.
Yeah,
So,
you do. I mean, and I hear the people. Honestly, our biggest fans are the people who make shows here, and you guys all make fantastic shows.
Yeah.
And you guys have been making your show since I want to say December, November or December.
November.
And you've already cranked out 17 shows.
correct.
That is amazing. I don't know that we've ever had anybody hit the ground running with.
They're not great, but we have made 17 of them.
To be honest, the first thing we did before we started making a show was turned on Channel 14 and see what was on. And we saw the best of Mike and Astics Volume 2. And we wanted to get to the point where we can have the best of Off Constantly Volume 2.
Well, I think you're there. I mean, you've got 17 shows.
Yeah, but we've only got about 7 minutes of good stuff, so
They don't need to be long shows.
that's true. The best of constantly 2.5 minutes.
You could pad it out like when they would do the best of Alf, and Alf would be sitting around telling stories that would lead into.
Oh,
That's going to be good.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's right.
Could be like a recap. See, this is why you make the big bucks.
Right. We're only going to be able to do,
Comparatively, yeah.
we're only going to be able to do 3 clips though, because these guys get off topic too much.
Yeah,
They do. You are off constantly.
that's
Yes.
the perfect name for the show.
That, and it seems like you have some go-tos when you get off topic.
Yes,
Seems like Star Wars is a big one.
and Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And Zeppelins.
Or
in
Zeppelin,
general.
Zeppelins.
Yeah.
Dave will throw a Zeppelin out there if we're getting a little too lully, and it always goes to music. So then music is such a broad
Yeah.
spectrum that we can kind of go wherever we want with that. So
There you go. There you go.
It's a show that taught me something, because I didn't realize there's a difference between Zeppelins and blimps until the show of Off Constantly.
it is educational
Yeah.
too.
It's hydrogen, right? Is
Believe
that the
so.
difference?
Yes. And metal.
No.
I hope it wasn't on me when you said that. I froze.
And we also learned.
Jason, tell me about blimps and zeppelins. Go.
Blimpie, they make great subs, fantastic sandwiches, and Zeppelins make incredible music.
Which
So
one was the Hindenburg?
That was a Zeppelin.
I think there's a
Correct.
A Zeppelin.
A Zeppelin.
Yeah. So
An M&M Zeppelin.
And we had-
Dairy Queen.
a Zeppelin would be like a word we would make up.
Right.
We come up with new words every week.
Sure.
Well, not every
Yeah.
week, but some
You're
shows we like. What
George
was-
W. Bush of the talk show circuit.
Exactly. What was the one?
I don't actually pay attention to those
Okay.
shows. Sorry.
Well, there's one that we use like every week. Subjects.
Subjects.
Subjects, because they're so painful to talk about. That,
Ah, yeah.
So subjects is one that we use constantly.
there you go.
Yep.
Now, yeah.
We also go to Leicester soil because that's the state soil, and
And I
that's
didn't
the
know
one
that.
thing he remembers about soil.
Well, now
Yeah.
hold the phone. I am putting the cards away for a second. The state soil.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me that, like having a state bird, there is a state soil,
That's correct.
and ours is Leicester?
The Leicester Loam. Yep. It's been about 16 years in the making.
School me.
I have actually for Christmas we were lucky enough to get a poster from Dave of the Leicesters, and I wish I had it here.
Yeah.
Because I'm not allowed to put it up even in the garage. My wife said too sexy.
Well, sure.
So we should actually bring you in one
Oh, please.
as a gift.
Please
Yeah.
do. Please do.
So the Leicester Loam
sorry.
is a Minnesota
You
soil.
stop stepping on
It happened there.
It's Minnesota soil.
Yeah.
It's described by Leicester Prairie. It's has significant components of support both crops and agriculture. And so when the Minnesota Association of Professional Soil Scientists had their big soil knockdown a few years ago, they picked Leicester Loam, and a lobbyist was hired. Rumor has it the first go was torpedoed by the Muffin people because they got the blueberry muffin. But we waited a few years and got back in it and got the Leicester Loam last year. They said it couldn't be done.
Is there a soil called the blueberry muffin?
No, there was the Muffin people. You really can only name one state thing per legislative
Ah.
session. And the Muffin people had this big groundswell.
So that they named
So
a state
I've
muffin
heard, yeah,
in failure of naming a state soil.
that's correct. And I
I
believe that was in the 90s. I was in high school. I just hearsay among soil scientists. It could be a legend.
Just in high school, putting that Leicester soil poster up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there.
We were big Zimmerman guys, so we were a little disappointed, but
I actually had a Zimmerman T-shirt printed up. So.
Yeah.
And
So you,
they actually have a Leicester beer.
Yeah.
Leicester,
yeah, we had Leicester. It was a limited edition beer that helped raise money.
It's fantastic.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was a little nervous 'cause
Well, right.
Leicester soil beer.
Just mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
Oh, well, there you go. You know, this seems like, now that we are well and truly off topic,
Absolutely.
this seems like the perfect time to take a minute to show the people at home clip from us constantly.
I think it's a good idea.
So let's take a look at that clip.
Sounds like he is pretty much the greatest thing ever. Like he
Well-
was just some dude who was like, "What's up, party in the White House?"
What year was this?
Holla!"
And what was his name again?
Warren G. Harding. I mean, come
Well,
on.
he was the original G.
Yeah.
He was OG, baby. He was the
What year
first
was
G.
it?
He's got the book. I wasn't paying any attention.
Well, why don't you tell us who your favorite
My guess
president
is.
and then I will find out what year it was.
Elvis?
Although, just for
40s?
reference on a television show, when you have to resort to a book, things aren't going well. So, that's the number one rule that Eric taught us. If you have to look up on a book, things are not going well.
For the folks at home, little behind the scenes information, we in the studio did not actually see the clip.
I was right there.
That's something I'll be adding in and editing. But when we came out of the clip, Dave had enough way more professional than either of the people who are on camera much more often knew to chuckle at the clip.
That's right.
Coming out of
That's
it.
right. That's hey. That's why he produces the show.
That's right. He knows more than we do. So that was a clip from Off Constantly.
It was
Bomba, Samurai, Backwater.
backwater. Yep.
Yeah. Why Bomba?
Bomba was a nickname I got in the 7th grade, I believe. The movie La Bamba had just come out, and I was the closest thing to a minority Irondale High School had, or Highview Junior High had. So because they knew I was Mexican and the movie was about a Mexican, I instantly became Bomba.
There you go.
So,
So it's not witness protection.
no, not
Okay.
yet, anyway.
Not trying to hide your identities from the viewers at home.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, no, I am who I am.
Okay.
If they went to junior high or high school with me, that's who they know me as, so.
There you go. Now, Samurai and Backwater, Sam and Jason, what do each of them bring to the show?
Samurai brings youth. She's connected to the youth of the nation.
And beauty.
And beauty.
And yeah, most of the time she has no idea what any of us are talking about. So that element is kind of fun too.
Right. She's actually really intelligent, so she kind of plays it up a bit.
I'm sure she's going to appreciate that you said that too. So
Right. Because
I think she's especially going to appreciate
We'll
the
just-
actually.
we'll just cut that out.
well, she knows.
I'm
For
teasing.
example, she knows that Elvis wasn't one of our presidents.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence on that one because
He was, however, the king.
he was. He was. So if it was a parliament, she'd be right. Or royalty. What's the word I'm looking for?
I still think she. I don't know. I still think she thinks that Johnny Appleseed actually did found her hometown of La Crescent, Minnesota.
Yep.
Maybe he did.
He didn't.
Were you there?
No. No one was there.
Then you don't
At
know.
the time of Johnny
Nobody was
Appleseed.
there. Well, if he was the first one there, he's got dibs. He can make it a city.
I suppose.
That's right.
I would have think he would have named it Appleseed or something though, instead of La Crescent.
Or Johnnyville.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because if I find someplace, it's going to be Jason's town or
Well,
something.
maybe he was sick of apples by then. He wanted to name it after his favorite pastry.
That's right. Maybe it was breakfast.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was an apple croissant. So
Oh, there you go.
And this is basically what happens in Off
every
constantly.
time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to keep going with it, I think he was a pretentious hipster.
a pretentious
Johnny
hipster.
Appleseed.
That's what the "le" is about at the front of it.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course, Johnny Appleseed was a hip, wearing a pot on his head and walking around planting trees. Kid's a hipster.
Singing songs about
Yeah.
himself.
Wearing real broad rimmed glasses and listening to Buddy Holly songs.
I bet he had an iPod back then.
Oh no! Of course he.
Probably an iPhone.
No. He was He was clearly rocking a Walkman, because that would be ironic.
I like it.
Yeah. That's why this show is better than ours, Jason.
If we take this formula
Yeah.
and just put it to ours,
It's the desk.
it'll work. It is.
It's
It's
the desk.
totally
The
it.
desk.
Yeah,
The desk makes it.
it does. It does.
Now, is this actually in the prop room or is this from your private collection?
No, this is the prop room. This
Oh,
is
okay.
this is certainly available to people to use.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Does it take a lot of work to get to it?
It is not in the main prop room. We're getting real inside baseball here, guys.
See, you guys are getting a look behind the scenes right now. So
It is not in the main prop room. It is
Oh.
actually in the garage because there's not room for it in the prop room.
garage.
Wow. It
We
might
were
have-
not introduced to the garage.
And nor are you going to be.
Well, but this is available.
Yeah.
How about we take a cut and pay to get it? So
What are you gonna start paying me?
yeah,
Is that
That's
how
what
you're
I'm
gonna cut
suggesting,
pay?
a rental
Oh,
fee.
you're gonna bribe me.
there you go.
Okay,
That works.
that's fair. That's fair.
Your love's for sale and I want it. So
There you go. What is coming up on Off Constantly? What does the future of the show have?
Oh my gosh. We are going to fuse the Soil Minute with the show. We're going to make it in line. I'm going to sit down with the hosts and talk about soil.
heads are exploding everywhere.
Because we always used to have to do that thing that we tried to do coming out of break, where they would pretend to have listened to the Soil Minute.
Right.
And they would always,
Then sometimes the host would screw it up, talk about something completely different than what the actual
Yeah.
soil minute was about.
which happens 90% of the time.
98, let's be honest.
Yeah. I feel like the viewers at home kind of got a preview of that right here. We had at least a soil minute in the middle of this.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
at least.
usually they'll be more condensed, because I think that was a soil like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of information there.
Right. And it was a serious topic.
Yeah, that's true. What is the Wisconsin state soil?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed.
I'm sorry. I was
All
not
my
trying
friends
to set you
across,
up.
yeah, all my colleagues across the river are going to
I would question his his authority on soil at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm until now when I thought of soil, I thought of Dave, but
But you know what? Whenever I think of Minnesota soil,
I think
I'm
it's
still
Dave.
going to think of Dave.
Whenever I think of soiling in Minnesota, it's Dave.
Gee.
Not going to touch that one?
No.
Okay.
Nope, not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Now, I understand. Now, I am a big fan of the bad movies.
Oh, I thought you were saying off constantly.
Hey,
I'm a huge fan of off constantly.
let's
What are you trying
Let's
to
step
make this
back.
connection
Okay.
here?
let's step back.
Okay.
Big fan of Off Constantly.
Thank you. Eric.
Thank you.
Another completely different thing that I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
Bad movies.
Yes.
I believe you guys are bad movies fans.
Huge, huge bad movies fan.
I know it's coming.
What's coming?
No, you go.
No.
Are you going to bring up the greatest bad movie ever,
Maybe.
Gymkata?
Gymkata, the kill of karate,
Uh-huh.
the skill of gymnastics.
Oh, I thought we were literally the only ones on earth that had a copy of it.
For the folks at home, this show is clearly devolving into nothing now
It's dissolved.
because we got through all of these. Gymkata is a movie that starred Chad Michael Murray. Is that his name?
Was that the gymnast name?
I think that's his name.
I think that is his name.
An actual Olympic gymnast in a death match type scenario
With crazy people
with great. Yeah, he goes to a small country.
to put a nuclear.
Yeah, don't forget to save
Yeah.
the United States missile defense system.
Yes, we had to.
And also the princess.
There was that.
There is
too.
a budding romance that cannot be ignored. He gets involved in a competition that is basically an obstacle course where you can die,
Yes.
and benefits from the strategic placement of gymnastic equipment.
everywhere. It's
Throughout the countryside.
It's the most fit town I've ever seen.
It is an amazing piece
Now,
of
he was
Yes.
lucky because that country
Yes.
didn't allow firearms. So that allowed his Gymkata skills
See,
to flourish.
I do not recall that point of the movie, but I think that you were right.
Yep,
Because at best they have bows and arrows,
correct.
At best.
at best, and
Because
flags.
let's face it, one arrow would have cured that whole problem with the pommel horse goat.
Well, the
holder.
crazy people don't
Yes.
have bows and arrows.
That's true. You wouldn't trust them with it.
But clearly an obscure movie.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
What is a movie you guys have seen recently?
I watched one Saturday night. I was going to wait for you. I couldn't do it.
Lay it on me.
Spiders.
Spiders.
3D. Just came out on Blu-ray like last Tuesday.
I know nothing about this movie.
And you never will unless I bring you a copy to see it.
Yeah.
Because if you rent it, you will write the company in a strongly worded letter because they charge you $16 for it.
Yeah. Is there anybody in this movie?
There's people, nobody of any
Yeah.
talent or consequence, but
How did the
I
spiders
bought it
look?
because it was a $16 Blu-ray 3D.
Yeah.
And that should have told me right there, don't buy this. So my wife and I sat down Saturday night, and she's such a good sport because 5 minutes into the movie, we knew what we got ourselves into.
Sure.
But we pulled through, and at the end of it, I got slapped upside the head, and which is usually typical for Saturday night.
Sure.
And said that was an hour and a half of her life she'll never get back. So.
How were the spiders?
They
Were
were
they big
computer
spiders
generated.
or
Yeah,
little
they were
spiders?
most of them were 8 foot tall, except the queen spider, which somehow at the beginning of the movie is an egg, and by 20 minutes into it, it's about 10 feet tall.
It's tall, you mean? Tall? Okay, thank you.
So when you're-
Tall, wide. I mean, it was
So you're not questioning that there are 8-foot spiders.
no because they
You're questioning their growth rate.
right because obviously they were an experiment in space
Yeah.
on a Russian satellite that crashed onto Earth.
Obviously.
I mean, how else would it happen?
On the spectrum of spider movies,
Yes.
that includes Earth vs. Spider, Arachnophobia, and Eight-Legged Freaks. Where does this movie fall?
And how many of those movies have you actually seen?
I've seen all of them.
Wow.
I would go with it. I think they were trying to be like Eight-Legged Freaks, the campy kind of,
Right.
but it just didn't work. They couldn't pull it off. So I don't know. Just bad.
It's a shame.
Worth a watch.
Worth the watch?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you love bad movies like I do, or we do, and it's, I think you do, it's definitely worth checking it out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's like he's greater on your brain, though. The acting is so terrible.
Well, I will check that out.
Okay.
The folks at home should check out Off Constantly. You want to see Off Constantly, go to northmetrotv.com, search the schedule for Off Constantly to find out when it's next airing, because we don't have a time slot, right?
Right. We're usually on in prime time on Monday nights.
So so around 5 o'clock on Monday, tune into Channel 14,
Yep.
hang around, check out Off Constantly. Guys, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having
Thank
us,
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. So this was Talk Show. Our crew tonight, as always, was made up entirely of volunteers. If you would like to join our volunteer crew, visit northmetrotv.com and click on Public Access for all the information about how to take our free classes, like the How to Make a TV Show class. You can also call or email me at 763-231-2803. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Talk Show.
Talk to me, tell me how you feel, what is on your head, in your beautiful head, in your beautiful head, in your beautiful head, in your beautiful head.